Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on wherever you're on Mother Earth. We don't come back today for continue with the topic we begin last week. But this time we will make additions on the topic. Last week we've been talking about trust. And we've been trying to make clear what in trust mean. How trust they affect we as a people, how it affect we as a society, and how it affect we as a country. Today, we will go one more step. Trust as the backbone for any people for live together in the home, in the community, and in the country. It get other things that more they affect them. The way we see and understand life now we mind. What in your eyes see, it tell you mind. And how you mind they interpret them. And then two things there, then get what in then they make we become or how we they be. We they develop a character where nainge for the show and we wherever we go and in everything what they do. That now we attitude. Then three things here, then very important for any person, for any home, for any community, and for any country for develop. They don't do a lot of research them where they don't find out, say, you get countries that will get plenty minerals, they're not able to develop. But you get other countries them will not get no mineral. But then countries here they develop. So the question we'll get for ask is why that they happen? Especially with we na Africa. When you talk to an African or you talk to a Sierra Leonean, the very first thing they call, oh, we get plenty diamond, we get gold, we get iron ore, we get bauxite. Why we for they suffer? Yes, we get all those things, but will they suffer? What in you feel say na the reason we make we they suffer? Is it bad government? Is it poverty? Is it corruption? You can call any name what you want for call. Say na I make we they suffer. You can blame anything you want for blame, say na I make we they suffer. But all them things then they what they call and blame, then things then they now the result. Not to them are the problem, now they are the result of the problem. We talk about politics, we say, oh, we politics, so fet, so cos. All that then are the result. Not the problem, not the result of the problem. And until we look for the problem, we find a way for solve the problem, then things here go continue for day how then this so. And if we're not careful, it will get worse over time. Why it will get worse? Because as time they go on, the one they born after we, then they take and say, now the normal way that for live life. And when it don't become normal to them, when it don't become a culture to them, it become very difficult and it becomes something where people them then they perfect anything where mortal man see as normal. As time they go, it dey turn master upon am. If a society get people that hold a thief, then see stealing as normal, as time dey go on, that thing dey turn more perfect. People then dey perfect am. The next thing is when a society they teach certain things, they say this thing now we sabi. The pikin them who they born, now then they learn. And when they learn them, now the only thing where they sabi. One lady we die in the year 2005 when a social scientist, Dorothy Notler Law, been write a poem. That poem it fits like every parent gets that poem day. Because that poem it teach certain things about who that will be. A title Children Learn What They Live. We all wait this so when we be small, we get for learn certain things from our homes. We learn certain things from our community. We learn certain things from our school. We learn certain things from our party them, etc. Today, as adults, now then things then they we sabi. Now in this lady when they talk about. I not go waste time for read all the poem because I dey show am up now, yeah? And I go encourage people them for find this poem. It dey online, it's free for download. Find them, you download them, read them, and understand them. Why I bring this poem into this discussion about trust, perception, and attitude? The problem we get in our country today, we dey blame them on the leaders, we blame them on governments. They come and go. We see the problem not the same. And in most cases, it dey get worse. Why? Maybe if we sit down for examine why, we go find the answer, and that go lead we to a situation where we go able solve most of the problems, if not all of them. The first thing we'll get for begin look at, we for ask ourselves, why is it that we dey find it difficult for trust ourselves? In the homes, we not dey trust ourselves. In the community, we not dey trust ourselves. In the society, we not dey trust ourselves. And we don't deal with that last week. But let's go back to that. Waiting at the root. The root come out far, 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 far away. The time way Portuguese and British then go West Africa, then begin take people then for use them for free labor. Then we they pay some money for that. Then we they give certain gift for that. Some of the people then, now that then see big, then see and pass, then come immortal man. Then begin help the white people then for take their young brother and sister, them sell them, carry them go. From that time, nine people then begin afraid each other. Now what I have been talking just now we come back to. Me and you and most of we now, but we say all of we not be ever day that same day. We not be made, they not be ever members say that they born we. But the effect of that thing they will happen. The mistrust we create amongst we, it divide we so much so that they like today, now we they see but all the problems we'll get in a salon. And not only Sierra Leone, but all the problems we have in Africa. If people go into politics and get corrupted, we therefore ask, what's in the reason for this corruption? What's in the root for this corruption? And I believe, say, if we ask, we go come to the final road that we not trust we self. Now, one of the reasons that I'm not gonna say not the only reason, no, other reasons than there. I not how they deal with this and this discussion. The reasons why corruption they prevail, not to him, we go find time for discuss that. But the root of everything, now because we not trust we self, we not trust the people who they work with, we not trust the people who they live with. So we all get that mentality say, La kapumion, God for we all man for himself. In that kind condition, I don't care which kind law they make. I don't care how much jail them put people them. It's not easy for stop the habit. We dey see them within families. Parents then they labor through their life, they accumulate some property, they accumulate some wealth. Because of mistrust, where the parents not able build trust inside the family for make the pikin them like themselves. And especially in homes where sometimes you get polygamy, you get more than one mama at the home with several pikin them. We dey see when the key breadwinner die, the pikin them, the wife them, then they left see them fet themselves. Then they even go to the extent for think for harm themselves, kill themselves. This is all because of lack of trust. Where people trust each other, they know they go to their levels than they. But outside, the next thing come inside, the perception, the way we would see and understand life. The perception come back to the same thing we have been talking about just now. Some of we not been there alive, they tell we people them, some of them they catch them brother and sister, they sell into slavery. But that culture, that norm, we don't build say, don't trust people. They like today, they make when we did together, we dey see the next man, say not to person for trust. Instead they see you, say you not to person for trust. That perception, outside people them get a divided thinking about each other. The perception where it dey build, they allow the society for stay together. And as long as the society not able to stay together, well, maybe if you will get this, they will get that, they will build this, they will do that. But at the end of the day, the society they suffer. Everybody they go behind. Nothing works. And the thing not stop there. When the society don't adopt that way of doing things, of thinking and doing things, it dey become so much part of the people them. It dey become a normal, unconscious way in the people them that it's not easy for change. Easy. Let them sit down, then say, this thing what they do so is not correct because they don't know say it's not correct. What you know, now you be. What you not know, they be. This is a fact about life. Until somebody come and begin point them. In the beginning, it will be difficult let people they understand them. Like why they talk so, some people will say, what in that man they talk about? Yes. But some of we don't understand them things here. And we know say now the real problem, now the real root. And I don't care who we have at State House, who we have as minister, what group of people we have in government, or how educated we are. If we not look at them things here and say, let us change these. These are the things holding us back. Nothing will ever change. Because if you get 20 people, 15 they think that way where they explain so, 5 they think differently. The result is the 5, and then they become the enemy. And say that why, and then they think different. And they want pull we. Some of us became enemies to our motherland because we sat for and saw the truth, and we were not afraid to say the truth. We never insulted people. We never harmed people. Some of us are so peaceful we cannot think of harming people. But we are not afraid to say the truth. We have the courage to say it. And since we don't begin to talk this through in the 1970s, we don't go long distance. Usai end, we still there in the mix of confusion. We still there in the mix of hate, of divide, of everything where they hold we back. And the most disheartening thing is some of us are getting old. You begin to ask, how have you spent your life? What have you really achieved? Because achievement in life is not about how much money you have. Money or wealth can be seen as an achievement, yes, but anybody can get it. Even a moron can become rich. It depends on the people that moron mixes with. It depends on the access to resources that moron has. So being rich has nothing to do with how intelligent somebody is, how hardworking somebody is, how clever somebody is. It's a circumstantial and maybe some level of discipline to do what is required of the group. That's all. It's circumstantial. Those who get rich out of their occupation, they do so because they create the circumstances. They work hard, they are perseverant, they stay focused. So being rich is circumstantial, anyhow you look at it. But even if being rich is circumstantial, if the human factor, the people them, the body, we say we are these people, if they are not ready to think together, a few will have it. The masses will suffer. Who are those few? those are the ones who use the most muscle. When I say muscle, it's not in terms of physical muscle. Those who care less, who kill their conscience and say, I will do this to get the money, they are the ones who will get it. And the rest of society will suffer. This is exactly the reason why there is poverty in Africa. It's the reason why there is poverty in my motherland, Sierra Leone. It's not about who is in governance. It's about the way we think, the trust we have for each other, and the attitudes. The attitudes. How the attitudes they affect me. Boy get access for get something we no say go benefit not only him, but it go benefit the community. Because boy get the attitude of not trusting people, he's going to be afraid to call people. He say, if I call the wire, then go can't kill me for this thing, then go can't do this, then go can't do that. I'll be the loser. Trust affects attitude. Trust don't come in. Mistrust don't come in. It don't affect attitude. You put somebody in an office for say, do this job, provide this service for the people. That person sit down and say, yeah, well, I don't cancel, offend me, no. I know they can't work for nothing. It begins with taking 1 cent per day, 10 cents per day, 20 cents per day. At the end of the day, nothing works. It destroys everything. Trust and mistrust come back into the matrix. They come into the mix. So until we learn from these things, until we begin appreciate, say, we are what we are because of the way we think, because of the way we understand life, because of the way we perceive or we believe others are, which may not be correct all the time. They may be correct. Our perceptions about others may be correct. They may not be correct all the time. Maybe the person you think is your enemy is your friend. It's not because somebody tells you the truth that he's the enemy. He's not. Maybe he wants you to do it better. That's why he's telling you the truth. But because of mistrust, when you tell people the truth, they look you as the enemy. So we go around and around and around and around. And at the end of the day, nothing done, nothing gained. People go into politics, they get rich, they make all the kind of money they can make. At the end of the day, they may end up losing, if not all of it, but most of it. Because the key factor, the backbone for make you able to enjoy and sustain that wealth, now the key factor is trust. The world where they live, not to island, not to one man get them. Everybody matters in this life. And until we learn that for say, people matter, then we learn for make them trust we self trust them. Everything what they do, it's like when somebody go team up and conveyor belts, they try for run. I know how you run, they go nowhere. I want place you there. That's what we do in Africa. That's what we are in Africa. We fight to do everything. And at the end of the day, we end up losing all of it Because the ingredients for make we sustain, now we know they look at. Everything we do, the issue of sustainability is either considered last or never there. For making people able sustain themselves, then get for build trust. For making people able sustain themselves, then get for learn for see each other as equals, as relatives, as friends, as family. For making people able sustain themselves, then get forget the attitude say, if me company they suffer, maybe na me partly responsible. It's not about doing charity. Charity not dey solve any problem. If charity been dey solve problem, the number of NGOs wey don go Africa from 1970 to now, poverty been for don expire. If charity been dey solve problem, all the charities the world don pull, poverty for don expire. But we find out say, the more we dey go into charity, the deeper the problem they become. Why? Because we want to use the thinking we cause the problem for solve the problem all the time. This Albert Einstein, when I be one of the greatest scientists, them will create all the research where they lead with to all the modern scientific and technological advancement. Now he means talk and say, you cannot solve a problem using the thinking. And if I can add it, then the method will cause the problem. This is exactly what we do in Africa. This is exactly what we do in my motherland. And that's why we dey run on a moving conveyor belt. And the conveyor belt is getting faster with time. But we not dey understand this. The conveyor belt of economic and technological advancement, they get faster with time. But we pay little attention to that. We're all concerned about ourselves. Everybody is me, me, me. That's why we love titles. Everybody has a title. I am PhD. I am Dr. This. I am Professor that. Hey, yes, we know. But let's begin to look at the ingredients of who we are, not what we show we are. Let us begin to look at the ingredients. And the ingredients should begin with asking questions. Do we trust each other? Do I trust myself? If I trust myself, do I trust other people? How can I trust people? What do I have to do to trust people? And what do I have to do for people to trust me? If we are going to ask these questions, then we'll get the answers. And maybe we will develop into the greatest continent on earth. Because we have everything in Africa that we need to develop. Everything. It's not only about minerals. We get a natural system we conducive to any kind mode of development. We get a climate where, yes, it may be hot. Well, of course, it is getting hotter with time because we foolishly they allow for the forest we continent. All man they make money pan timber. Everybody they broke thick, cut thick for billows. Where you look at we capital city today, where rain they come, you dey see water they flow all over the street like say na flood. Yes, it dey happen all over the world. But does it have to happen in Freetown? If you ask me, I don't think so. Why don't I think so? Because if we maintain our environment, we keep a forest cover, I believe say the trees then they able hold the water under the ground. If you see water they flow so, now because tree and grass and other things now they so the water just they sweep on top the soil. But that's not what we're here for. That was mentioned, or that is part of what I'm mentioning. Because if we see how they do things anyhow, now because we not trust each other. If we trust each other, the first thing what will happen to we all they respect the law and comply with the law. If we trust each other, anything what they do, we dey look say, if I go build this house up that hill, I pull all the forest, rain come, that water begin flow fast. Then people they down, they affect them. That road where we they spend money for make them make, they affect them. Trust they make we think, we ask questions to ourselves and answer them. But where there is loss of trust or lack of trust, nobody cares. Everybody does as they like. Because we are in a situation of God for each, every man for himself. This now the root. And this root, as I say, come up very far in history. Now it don't be a culture in most of we. Now I make some of we they see them differently, where they say them differently, we always look or sound funny to people. What in that man they talk about? Yeah, because that's what you know. You know what I am talking about. You, it's your makeup. And what I'm saying is ask yourself, investigate yourself, do introspection on yourself. Before you point at the next man, ask yourself, investigate yourself. Whatever there is in you to correct, correct it quietly. And above all, when you don't understand, say, okay, now because we not trust ourselves, now I make would they do so, find a way for build trust. Find a way for build trust. Is there in your interest? Is there in the next man's interest? Is there in everybody's interest? I will take a break and I'm coming back. Okay, so we continue. Normally, I can look for take a break between the presentation and the recommendations that I'm making because when I dey talk, I know they only look at the problem. I dey always try to make certain recommendations as to what we go do because at the end of the day, if everything gets better, it's for all of us. If things get worse, it's all of us who suffers. I don't see things by I did this, that did that. No, I'm not egoistic. Some people think I am, but I'm not. I only point out what I do. I don't take praises for it. And that's the one of the first thing we for begin practice. Point what you did, accept responsibility when you're wrong, and learn to be accommodative to others, their thoughts, their feelings, etc. Be sensitive to what in they happen to the other man. Not in terms of crying for the next man or taking money or food to go and give to the next man. No. Be sensitive. No say, if I do this, it will affect the next man. If I not do this, it will affect the next man. Then we don't begin solve the problem. Another thing we'll get for do is, but most of we they do things wrongly because we get within them call by sociology peer culture, falamakata as we call them na Creole, falamakata. 90% of the people who get involved in corruption, then they do them out of falamakata. This I want anybody research that, then go prove me right. You see, Jack don't billows, he self one for billows. You see, Tom don't buy motoka, himself one for buy motoka. If Tom don't buy motoka, he gets the money wrongly. Does that make it correct for you to go and do something wrong? Because Jack do and Tom do am? No. This is how we sustain what is wrong in society. The same falamakata we get am politics. Eh? Then what happened don't do so. So we self, if we do I know it's wrong. If as long as you know say wrong, it's wrong. In law, I'm not a lawyer, but I think I know enough law as somebody who had been in administration. In law, you are guilty for the fact that you get knowledge of something and you do them. You are guilty. If you don't know, then proof say you don't know. Maybe you will still be guilty, but your innocence go excuse you. But when you know say this wrong, but because Jack do and you say for do am, and you want justify and say Jack been don't do am, yes, law gets what they call precedents. Precedents is then they pass judgment based on some judgment or some element or circumstance or whatever them you don't use before. But that not justify you doing wrong things and going public to say because they did it that way, if we do it so, then we are not wrong. No, you're damn wrong. You are more than wrong. You are willfully wrong. So dear, and one day they go all over the place for try for justify wrong, saying it was done. Yes, nothing has been done correctly in Sierra Leone. Let me say this today. As I can always say, I was born before independence. I saw independence. I attended it. I know what Sierra Leone was at that time. I know what Sierra Leone is today. Within the period, I mean, I go school, I go university, I work in the country from 1979 to 98. I know exactly that nothing has ever been done correct in that country. Even with the first government of Sir Milton Magai, he had a short period, 1961 to 64. But at that time, he was so new to self-determination that he did a lot of things by experiment. And therefore, a lot of mistakes were made. So then nobody not go about the place they justify anything. Maybe we had made some efforts to do certain things. But what made them wrong was for everything that had been done in that country, there was never a sustainability plan. Development is not about what you do now. It's about how you sustain whatever little you do now. We have built roads, we had equipped schools, we had built institutions. 1970s, now in the period of construction, then build teacher training colleges, then build universities, then build this, they equip them. I went to university, school and university. They were well equipped. The science labs, they bring everything. We bring music labs. We get carpentry workshop. We get metal works. At the grammar school, not to any other school, or the Sierra Leone grammar school. We had those things. Where are they today? Nowhere to be seen because there was no sustainability plan. That is why nothing had been done correct in Sierra Leone. It's not because some people wanted to destroy Sierra Leone. No Sierra Leonean, not the Sidom, you think for destroying country. But we all the Sidom, we think out for Kapu Kapu. And because we all the think for Kapu Kapu, I make we not get sustainability plan. This would on Kalau try, now do what you get for do we own. You do what you had to did. You did, sorry, what you had to do. Now, where is it? We had the third largest sugar producing industry in Africa after Mauritius and Mozambique. Where is it today? We had agriculture projects in every district in Sierra Leone. Where are they today? We had a rice research center. What is called today the West African Rice Development Agency started right in Sierra Leone. Today it has moved somewhere. The cassava that they use in Nigeria now, the big stock, the experiments were done in Sierra Leone at Jala by a Ghanaian, Professor Samagri. I was not told about that. I was there. I saw it. At some point, the man got frustrated because he was being treated by certain people who wanted their self-interest. He moved to Nigeria, to the University of Nsukka, and continues his experiment. Where is the cassava today? We have done everything wrong to ourselves. And we continue because with perceptions, with attitude, don't become a culture. Let us stop this blame game. Let us stop this finger pointing. Let us begin to ask the correct questions. Why are we doing what we are doing? And why are we doing them wrongly? Falamakata. This be don't do me, this for do. No. Maybe the person do them out of ignorance. Maybe the person do them by mistake. We're all humans. We can make mistakes. We're all humans. We can do things out of ignorance. Later, we'll come for understand, say it was wrong. We dey feel inside, we say, oh, I don't do something we're not correct. That is why the religion them all they practice, and they tell we say, we forgive each other. But are we really forgiving people? If we were, why would they follow Makata? If you get for follow Makata, self, do them for a good reason. When I came to Norway, I saw certain things they were doing differently. I said, let me adopt these ways. Yes, na falamakata, but I do them for a good reason. Because today, it don't modify a lot of things in me. And one of the reasons will allow me for think and understand issues the way why they talk them. So I hope we all go learn. Learning is a divine process because God is absolute knowledge. If you refuse to learn, you are ungodly. I hope we all go learn. Another thing with the hold we back, we lack respect for each other. We lack respect. I have been reading social media since 2007, 8, 9. I have been called to several different groups, different nationalities, etc. I am still even member in most of those groups, a quiet, passive member, reading them. People in India have joined me in their group because I do things connected with information technology. People in South America, we want for talk English. They don't join me in the group. East Africans, North Africans, etc. I'm in several groups, passively listening to them, observing them. Honestly, the group that will get problem pass all na two. Two. Sierra Leoneans, Liberians. We come to social media to insult each other. We come to social media to show off against each other, to make others look funny, and all those things. All that the point say, we not get respect for each other. Added to that, when we don't do all that day, we dey go back each other, go talk about each other. Somebody we respect, they go talk about and behind him back. When I respect somebody, I don't go back of you and talk about you. If I care, I dey call you, I talk to you. I know they can publicly can't talk to you. I dey call you, me and you talk. I tell you what I get for tell you. If we get for make palava, we'll make palava. I'm done with that. The next day, we meet up and me first they tell you hello. Hello, how are you? Because I don't have time to keep grudge. We keep grudge, the pain of whatever they mourn you. Now you the feel am, not just the man we keep grudge for. Now you will keep am, now you the feel am. So it dey hurt yourself. It hurt yourself. And the worst thing what anybody can do to himself, now for hurt himself. The best asset where anybody can get in a life, peace, internal peace. Have it within you. Have it within you. It's bigger than any amount of money you can get. It's more enjoyable than any amount of money you can get. And not to money, they give peace. You can get all the money, but you not get peace. You can get all the wealth, but you not get peace. Peace is an attitude to be developed. It's a way of life to be practiced. And when once you lost peace in yourself, you dey extend unto the next man. We see lots and lots of it in Sierra Leone today. Well, for most of them, they can be excused. Excused in the sense that for most of them, now be the innocent picking them, where we the big one them by stupidity, recruit, take them for go fetch. War will not be need for fetch. Most of them don't grow into adults today. They don't understand, say, violence are a way of life. And for most of them, because they were very small, 10, 12, 13, then begin preach hate to them. Then get that hate 30 day. Without even asking, then get the hate. The one that then they do this, the one that then cause this, the one that then responsible for that. That hate. It tear we country apart every day. It tear them apart. But if we don't reach you say reach, some of we not go sit down with set mouth. We will talk them. And we not dey talk them for blame nobody. We not dey talk them for offend nobody. We dey talk them for make everybody understand, say, the ways them where they go not correct. Those sit down peacefully, and ask the questions that we will need for ask, and make the changes that we will need for make. Sierra Leone is a beautiful country. Sierra Leone is one of the most beautiful countries on earth. But we don't mess up because of we attitudes, because of we perceptions about each other, because we lack trust in each other. Everybody they do are in lack. Nobody respects nobody. Now we don't turn a state of thuggery. Everybody has to go about with a gun or a gang of gun-toting men. That's what we see as power. It's not power, it's cowardice. True to God, it's cowardice. Power does not speak with a gun. Power speaks with the attitude. Mahatma Gandhi, who took India to independence, never raised a finger against an ant. He was one of the most peaceful men you could find on earth at his time. But he was very resilient about what he believed in. They did everything to him. He said, no, this is how I believe it. And at the end of the day, he got what he wanted. That's power. That's power. But beating people here, kicking people here, misusing law there, abusing law there, that's not power. That's cowardice. It shows the ultimate lack of respect for other people. It shows the ultimate lack of respect even for yourself doing it. Because if you have respect for yourself, you show it in your behavior to others. And for some of us, or most of us, we do these things and we go back and say, we are Muslims, we are Christians. We should stop that joke. Both religions, then they tell we say, what you know I let them do to you, not do unto person. What you want let them do to you, now if you do to other person. Yeah, we're not going to do them perfectly. Nobody is going to. But we need for practice them. We need for take the first step. But if we are not taking the first step forward, instead we are taking the first step backward, then it speaks to our attitudes, it speaks to our perceptions, it speaks to everything we are. And honestly, we should be ashamed of who we are. We should, because the whole world, they see we, then they listen to we, then they ask. They may not be asking you, but some of us who are close to certain people, they ask us, so what's wrong with you people? What's wrong with you people? Why do you do these things? Why do you say these things to each other? Why is it that when you are gathered together, it's always noise and confusion? We have to be ashamed. We have to begin to get ashamed. Honestly, we have to. Because we are not on any other planet but Mother Earth. We are living on the same planet with other people. Yes, we can feel happy. We can feel anything. We holler here and there. But let it not go to the level of violence. No, it should not. It should not. There are people who will sit down and drink 3 bottles of gin or 3 bottles of whiskey, and you'll never become violent. And I don't think say we get Sierra Leoneans the way they take alcohol that much. If then they self they no boku. But why is it that the majority of us are always violent? Why can't we talk to each other? Why always talk at each other? Why we soon for deteriorate into insulting other people, even when they may not want to insult you? We have to learn to respect each other and everything around us, not only people. Another thing they keep we back is we don't respect the things around us. If we respect the things around us, some of the things that what they do to our environment, the dirty them what they allow for gather around with cities them, will not be for allow that. We don't respect the things around us, and we expect people to respect us. Are we really thinking? You look around you, everything is messed up. Then you expect people to respect you. Are we really serious? Do we think respect comes by force? Respect comes when people see you for what you are. That's what they are going to use to respect or disrespect you. So, dear, let we learn for respect others and everything around we, because that is what is going to bring respect to us. Nothing else. Not only money. If person car around you for your money, they praise you. Now your money you want to, not to you. When you dey in a power, person they praise you. And the power we get, the money wey they come up behind, and now you want take some. Well, the day power they left you, now first they cost you. Then we begin learn lessons. Then we learn the attitude of peaceful coexistence and respect for each other and everything around us. It never make anybody a weakling. If you respect your wife, you respect you picking them, una sidom, una keep comping, una play and laugh. As old as I am, my son who is 16, most times he can come, they make me say they make blow. I say if we see what the only able be, we make it as fun. We laugh over it. Yes, that's how it should be. The camaraderie for day. When people live with camaraderie, then they open up their spirit and understand themselves. But when people live for the sake of the material, they close up their spirits and then misunderstanding and mistrust takes over. So do ya or begin think and change some of them here. Another thing we'll get for do, we cannot have it all. We cannot do it all. Then we learn for set limits. Some of una Christian and tell una say know thyself. Know thyself means say understand your capacity, understand your ability, and live within the limits. Don't go living beyond your limits. You may ruin yourself and you're going to ruin a lot of other people in the society. That's another reason why corruption had for done our society. That's another reason why we're not able to trust ourselves in our society. Because we know they live within we limits. Everybody want to make big falsehood. Some of who the diaspora who don't labor till go holiday, we buy big chain we hang. They go and make a treat. Last time I was going to Sierra Leone. One of my daughter where they there. She had to come, hey, where they can for buy mo to Casenamo. I said, what you do? He said, now so you company. I said, well, they not pull me now the name company, they pull me now the name boy. And boy does not do what others do. He does what he believes is right for him. That's my limit. Everybody forget self-assessment and put self-limits. We're not able to understand this because most of we go through school, we not learn mathematics properly. Not all we fault. That's another issue I'm going to be engaged in a debate on tomorrow. And even here, I will go further for discuss that same issue there. With education. With education, it fail because of the way they give the education. A lot of people not be able to do maths and science because they get problem with the medium of communication. You go teach somebody something per language where you don't understand. You expect the person to understand the concept? No, you know the limits. Not you then they teach per mathematics, then call that part of mathematics calculus. You get upper limit, you get lower limit. But most of we don't know that because we don't get that simple mathematical ability. Because say, yeah, na my upper limit, yeah, na my lower limit. I operate within this. If I go up, I not for go too far up. If I come down, I not for go too low. We don't have that. That's why we mostly the practice falsehood. Make what you will not be. The Madingo call them Kamarimba. And a Kamarimba, one of the reasons we make we know they go before. Show off. No, that be. Yeah, no, that be a mortal man like me. So let's be human. Forget who you think you are. Let's talk. Let's discuss. Let's correlate. Let's see what is good in you. And you try to see what is good in me. Let meet we self halfway. If you get money past the person, him poor pass you. So now meet una self halfway. If you get education past the person, him ignorant pass you. So now meet una self halfway. Be your brother's keeper. Let us practice that, to be our brother's keeper. This country where they are not open church every week, every day. Maybe once in 3 months, then they go church. Some man don't even go church throughout the year past Christmas, or then get buried and thing that day. But they understand these things and practice them. They are brothers keepers. Neighbors, they help neighbors. They're not fumble. Something happen to you, your neighbor, then they come. Who's how they saw when we moved come here about 2 years ago? We got 3 cats. We say, okay, let carry them go. Let them go give them vaccine and everything. Behold, one of them and get heart problem. They think kill him. And come with them, he don't die. How you feel say they sleep? Behold, not die, the thing don't die. Then we understand, say die. The neighbors them. If you see them come, like a person die, then come or can sympathize. And I know they say we for do am in Africa. But in Africa, even when you neighbor get bearing, where they go there? You they go with that sympathy, or you just they go for go show face, say yes, let them see me. And some people go to funerals for go show off. 2011, we had a catastrophe in the family. My brother died in the United States. We decide for go bury in a salon. One of the things I found very strange was somebody suggested they'll buy a shopping for the burying. And I said, not that we cannot afford it, yeah, not anything. But why do we need an ashobi? To show what? Who are we showing what to? We have to begin to ask these questions. We have to begin to look at issues and say, are these things correct for us? Do they contribute to make us better people? Or are they contributing to holding us back? We have for trial the problem, not to politics, not to politics, not to God, wicked but we. And the way we they think. The inside, the way we they think. The way we they do things. The way we they relate with each other. That ain't our problem. And until we change them one day, we cannot change anything. And not care who that come, he can't talk in big talk. I will do this manifesto. Now left manifesto. Now put the aside first. Now put the manifestos aside. Now begin use the thinky festo. Let us think together. Now begin use the talky festo. Let us talk together. Let's learn to think and talk together as a people. Then all the manifestos will be done. Because you come and tell people, I'll do this, I'll do this. Yes, yeah, we cannot do it alone. You cannot. Nobody can change anything alone. You need people. And you don't only need those people whom you think you are in the same club that you call a political party. You need people who are not even in your club. And how do you get these people to come and work with you? Trust. Trust. When they trust you, they work with you, irrespective of what you are. When you build the correct perceptions in the people, they will work with you. And governance is about collective participation. It's about tolerance. It's about temperance. And above all, it's about maintenance of ethical standards that will build trust. Trust. Where there is trust, there is everything. Where there is no trust, there is nothing. I thank you for listening to me. Have a nice evening, afternoon, or morning. Until next week, I say au revoir. Au revoir. We will meet again. Harder, as we say in Norwegian. Goodbye.